Imagine being in jail for a long time because you did a crime. You're already paying your debts for being in jail. Also, being inside the jail makes you lose all your liberty you had when you were free. The next day you wake up and they tell you in a week you'll be sentenced to a death penalty. And you don't have a right to deny your petition. You only have to wait for the guy who's gonna kill you. For my opinion, I would say that that's not the right thing to do. The only who has that decision is only you. This happened to Dustin Hicks on July 16, 2021. Dustin was a man who was executed by the United States federal government. He was sentenced for the death of three women in Maryland in 1996. According to the CNN News, the tone of his voice was calm but defiant. As he said his last words, "I would like to say I am innocent man," he said, mentioning the three women by name. "I did not order the murders." This is really sad because they gave him no choice and the government decided that Hicks should be killed, even though he was already paying his sentence in prison. A fact why we should stop the death penalty I found in the resource in Britannica. It shows us that in May 2023, Amnesty International listed the United States as just one of 55 countries globally with a legal death penalty for ordinary crimes. Another 9 countries reserve the death penalty for exceptional crimes, such under military law or crimes committed in exceptional circumstances. Meanwhile, 112 countries have abolished the death penalty legally, and 23 have abolished the punishment in practice. This shows that many countries have already stopped the practice of the death penalty because of how cruel it is towards the citizens. Also, they have lowered the practice because many of them did not require meet the requirements of being killed, or even they should not be prisoners that are paying their debt in jail. Also, according to the resource called Britannica, it shows us why we should stop the death penalty. The death penalty is significantly more expensive than life without parole. The death penalty system costs about to California $137 million per year, while a system with lifelong imprisonment as the maximum penalty will cost $11.5 million and almost 92% decrease in expenses. The statistics are lower but comparable across the other states, including Kansas, Tennessee, and Maryland. This is really expensive. In my opinion, they could save the money for city purposes or school. Also, they would not waste the amount of money for the guy who committed the crime, just giving them water or simple food. Also, according to the Britannica resources, shows us the Equal Justice Initiative explains that the death penalty system treats you better if you are rich and guilty than if you are poor and innocent, resulting in the punishment being mostly imposed on poor people who cannot afford to hire an effective lawyer, while people of color are more likely to be persecuted for capital murder, sentenced to death, and executed, especially if the victim in the case is white. This shows a lot because a lot of white people are rich and like the others do not have the money to pay a lawyer. So also, don't you think that the death penalty is an old way of punishment? That's why we should gather together and vote against death penalty, because no other human should decide you need to die.